What is going on, everybody? Thank you for joining. Happy St. Patrick's Day. That's why I wore my Ireland rugby shirt jersey today. Happy Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving. Jeez, I got my holidays all mixed up. Happy St. Patrick's Day. So yeah, good morning and everybody. Yes, good morning. And I just want to introduce myself really quick. My name is Arthur Valdez, and I'm interviewing the candidates for the City of San Antonio 2021 elections that are coming up here shortly. I've been reaching out to the mayoral, the city council, and now we're trying to hit the school board candidates because that's something that is really not being covered right now, or at all. Not to this extent. So definitely want to put a shine on to some of these candidates as well to be able to have they could have this platform to be able to speak on why it's important to vote for these elections and why it's important to pay attention to who's on the ballot for the school boards as well. So without further ado, let me go ahead and bring on our guest. Hey, Art.
How you doing? How y'all doing?
Good. So just want to remind everybody that this is an open forum. So please, if you feel the need to ask a question, please go ahead and jump in and ask a question live in the comments section on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Yesterday we had somebody from the UK come in, even though it doesn't affect them, but it's kind of cool to have somebody from across the sea, but either way, though, if you would also like to jump in and actually ask a question directly to Art here, directly as what's it called? Jump in and actually ask the question live, in person, I guess, virtually. You can go ahead and do so by clicking on the link that I have posted below. And here, I'm just need to post it here. Instagram, I'm sorry, you won't have this feature, but I can relay the question to Art as best that I can. So please be thorough on your questions, just to make sure there's no confusion. So, hi, Art.
Hello,
I know I caught you earlier. You said you're cutting your grass, and I know we all had to do that with this last freeze and everything, and then everything started growing. So,
that's
but
right. All the snow that we had, yeah.
Right. So go ahead and introduce yourself, and
Sure.
We'll start there.
Okay. My name is Arthur Valdez. I live here in the Burbank community here in San Antonio, on the south side of San Antonio. I grew up in this area. I've lived in this area all my life. I graduated. Actually, I went to Lowell Middle School in this area. I went to Burbank High School, graduated from Burbank High School in 1966, which was 55 years ago. Quite a bit, a long time ago. My three kids, I have three kids. They all went to Burbank High School. My grandkids, I've got two grandkids. They will be going. One of them is already a senior at Burbank High School, and the other one is an eighth grader at Harris Middle School. He will be going to Burbank High School. I was employed by Boeing as an aircraft engineer. I was with them for 43 years. I have a consulting firm right now that I owned, and I still do a lot of engineering design work for aircraft for Boeing. I was drafted in 1968 during the Vietnam War. I am a Vietnam veteran. I served in the United States Air Force. My duty stations, actually, I was telling Eric that I joined the Air Force not to see the world during the Vietnam conflict. My brother joined the Navy. He was stationed all 4 years here at Beeville, Texas. I ended up going to Thailand, Korea, and Vietnam.
Beeville, out of all places, in the Navy.
All places, I know. So I've lived in this area, and I've been on the board now for this is my 8th year. I got voted in the first time for 8 years ago, and then I ran for a second term. I got voted in again by the constituents here in my district, and I'm running again for re-election for another 4 years in a board.
Gotcha. So let's start with a what made you want to be on the school board? What are some of the things that you enjoy about it, and what purpose does it serve?
Yes. You know, I had no idea of what a school board was when I first ran. I put in for it because since I've been a community member here for all my life here in this area, the Burbank area, the South Side, I live right between Nogalitos and Sasamora streets, right here where the brand new HEB is, the two-story HEB. So I've lived in this community all my life, and as an aircraft engineer, I was pretty well educated, and I wanted to run on the board 8 years ago because I felt that the kids in this community needed I needed to make sure that my kids in this community had a good education. Education is very important nowadays. 40, 50 years ago when I grew up, jobs were available, and you really didn't need a college education because you would go from high school directly into work. These schools were made into trade centers, and I studied electronics at Burbank, and that's what I wanted to do as my career, be an aircraft technician. My dad was an aircraft mechanic at Kelly Air Force Base for 35 years,
Hmm.
and that's what I wanted to do, the same thing. So I got a pretty well-rounded education, and I felt that running for the school board, I would make sure that my kids here in this community would have the best education that they could see, because nowadays you do need an education. Um, uh, even the menial jobs, there's a lot of companies that don't even accept you as to be employed because they're asking for at least a 2-year college degree or some kind of an education.
Mhm.
So it was very important for me to make sure that my kids here in this community had a good education, and that's what I got on the board for. Um,
Definitely.
it's amazing. When I got on the board, uh, I wish every parent had the opportunity to serve on the board, because you learn a lot of things, the backgrounds, exactly how a school district runs. And it's amazing. People don't understand how hard it is um, for a school district, for teachers, for staff. It's very, very hard nowadays for a teacher to teach because there's so many things that they have to do as a teacher nowadays. When I went to school, it was very easy. You learned your courses. You got a test at the end of the course, and you had so many credits that you had to do for graduation. I have a granddaughter that's a senior in Burbank, and oh my God, I'm amazing what these kids learn nowadays and the technology that is in these schools. So it's not an easy thing for teachers, and I thought that once I got on the school board, it was an easy thing. It's very, very hard to be on a school board. You have to do a lot of things. You have to know a lot of things, and you have to continuously study to make sure.
Oh, um, sorry about that. So just bear with us here for a second. um, let's see here. Hold on. Just bear with me. Yeah, just bear with us real quick. I think just kind of it lost connection. There we go. All right.
Somehow.
All right, there we
Yeah,
go. All right.
for some reason, it keeps going off.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Um, okay, so I'm gonna, this since this is an open forum, I'm gonna go ahead, and there was a question on here. I guess there were some issues that have been related, I guess, to some certain family members of yours, with as far as being a teacher. How do you plan on dealing with issues like that, and it maybe gain confidence to the public, to gain the people's confidence, with issues that have happened in the past?
What issues? I'm not sure what.
Um, Phil says, how would you deal with teachers? And I don't know. I mean,
I don't
this is
have anybody in my family that's a teacher.
okay. Um, Yeah, according they have a SA current. They put on here that a teacher lost his license for soliciting a minor for sex, arrested for doing it. So I don't know if supposed to be that was is that correct or no?
Well, I mean, that shouldn't be brought up. We're not talking about that. We're talking about education, school board. I don't see why that should be
Right.
brought up.
Is that part of? I mean, is the disciplinary actions for teachers part of the school board's thing or no?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
We
Um.
deal with it, and we're the ones that hire and fire teachers, staff, or whatever, by the recommendation of the superintendent.
Mhm. Okay. So I mean, and I don't know. I don't know how this stuff works. So that's why I'm asking, and people are
Sure.
asking. So that's why I think it is important to kind of touch on as far as what some of the things that a school board
Yeah.
you know.
The responsibility of a school board member is to hire and fire a superintendent, and any other thing that is brought up to us, as far as any problems with teachers, or if they're not doing their job or what have you. We have the responsibility to look over that, and either fire or keep on, or whatever the situation is required. And there's also a thing, because the union is involved in SAISD.
Mhm.
Teachers can go before a board, and if they feel that they're not being properly looked at, well, they can come before the board, and we have like a trial, and we can decide whether we keep the person there continuing, or we do not let them continue in our district. That is a responsibility of a board. Yes.
Okay. And I know with a lot of issues that have been recent with especially with Harlandale,
Mhm.
there's been a lot of issues with Harlandale school board that has spent a lot of money and they had a lot of lawsuits recently.
Yeah.
Um, is there anything like that is happening with SAISD school board or what are some of the things that you guys are doing to prevent issues like
Yeah.
that?
Well, the what why some of these boards get into trouble. You know, a lot of people think that a board member has a lot of power. Well, we do have a lot of power, because we can hire and fire teachers and staff and the superintendent. But it is not the responsibility. The reason some of these school boards get into trouble is because a lot of people have personal agendas. They think that they have the power to go out there and solicit funds for contracts in their school district. Well, the school board member does not have that power. We do not have a power like that. Uh, that's why some of these school boards get into trouble, because they go out and they solicit funds without even the approval of a superintendent and the staff. You cannot do that. The staff and the superintendent have the power to do that. The school member does not have a power to do that. We cannot go out and solicit funds or whatever contracts from certain companies to do, let's say, a building an SAISD. You cannot do that. You cannot do that as a board member. The responsibility of a school board member is only to hire and fire a superintendent, budget, um, and make sure that the academic continues in the school district.
Hmm.
That's the responsibilities of a school board member, nothing else. You
Hmm.
have nothing else responsibility on that.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
that's what I found out as I got onto the school board. Yes.
Hmm. Yeah. Somebody put Burbank AG may lose their breeding program due to budget cuts and new directors at the admin level. My understanding, the district was upset that HEB would sponsor the program as the district is trying to get away from that program. Do you have
Uh,
any suggestions on that?
yeah. No, as far as I know, I'm being the school board member. We don't have any plans to do any of that at Burbank.
Gotcha.
Rumors get started. I don't know how they get started, but as long as I'm the school board. Burbank has always been an agricultural school, and will continue to be an agricultural school. That's what it was built for.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
1937. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'm actually a graduate from Burbank as well.
There you
Uh,
go.
all
What year
right.
did you
So
graduate? What year
uh,
did you graduate?
in '01, In '01, I graduated, and then September 11th hit, and I went into the military. So
Very good.
like,
Very
oh
good.
man, all right. Well, um, okay. So, what are some of the things you guys are doing as far as the COVID issue? I know I've seen from different entities that they're pushing back, I guess, some of the openings, or some of the openings for the schools, um, and some are saying that that you guys are rushing it. So, would you have anything to say in regards to those issues?
Yes, we just had a board meeting last night, and we are going to get over 2,000 immunizations this coming weekend for our teachers. We are starting to open up for teachers that will get immunized. So that's a good thing for SAISD. We're starting to do that. Once we do that, all our teachers will be immunized, and then we can start opening up our schools for the coming new year. Not now, not this year, because it's already pretty much gone already for this year. But we're starting to get the immunization available for our teachers. So that's high priority to get our teachers and 8,000 employees that we have in our district to get all of them immunized.
Hmm, gotcha. And so,
Just to mention, I've already been immunized. I've gotten both of my shots already.
okay, cool. So are you guys working with some? Oh, drop that again. Um, just bear with this for a second. Sorry. Hold on. There we go. All right.
You're all right there?
There we go.
Okay.
All right. So as far as with, are you guys working with some of these local groups that I know, I think there's SAA local, and some of these alliances are, do you guys work with them closely as far as with trying to achieve a better communication with the community, or have you heard of these groups?
Give me that group again, the
I
name.
think it's the San Antonio Alliance. I believe they help with a lot of the SAISD schools, as far as like being not like a union, but like a, I don't know, like a representation
Well,
organization.
let me just say this: that San Antonio Alliance is the union for SAISD.
Oh, okay, okay,
We're
okay,
the union for SAISD.
okay,
So yeah, there was a lady by the name of Shelley Potter, that she was a union president. Um, we work very close with the union because the union is part of SAISD. They've been a union here for many, many, many years.
okay,
So we work very closely with them. Shelley Potter was president of the union for 30 some odd years. I had a very good rapport with her. She would call me many times. I would go over there to visit her to make sure that that we're in close communication with the alliance. Yes, we are very close with communication. She retired a couple of months ago. We
mm,
have a new union president, and we work closely with them. You know, they're involved in a lot of things that we do. Yes, that is correct. Can you hear me? Hello, Eric?
yes, hello.
Yeah. Are you
Okay.
there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm, like I said, I'm still trying to figure out how the school board system works and all that. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm
It's a
asking some
lot
of
of
these questions.
yeah. There's a lot of things that you got to know on that.
Yeah. And so as far as with teacher pay, what are some of the things that you would like to see done with teacher pay?
Yes, we have in fact, we have the budget already worked up for next year. There will be a teacher pay increase. We didn't do it for this year because of the COVID. The school districts have been hurting because of the COVID. The state stopped funding all the school districts. So we do have a budget plan for next year that we are uh, uh, going to have the every year so far we've been having a pay increase for all our staff and all our teachers. So we are going to have a pay increase for teachers this coming new year.
Gotcha. Um, okay, sorry. I'm like, I guess I'm either I'm having internet issues or both are. So as far as the STAR testing, what are some things you would like to see done differently? Do you think the STAR testing is beneficial for our kids, or do you think that, and obviously I know you can't change it, but do you think that there's something that we can do as citizens that we can change this, or do you feel like the STAR system is a good gauge to find out how our kids are being taught?
Well, I can tell you that none of us on the board like the start testing, but we have no say so on that.
Mhm.
It comes from the state legislature. It comes from the governor. It comes from the TEA, the Texas Education Agency. We as a board cannot change that. And, of course, we're not happy about that, but it comes directly from the state. We have no say so on that. And there's
Right,
a
right.
misconception out there. There's a misconception out there that the board can do away with that. We cannot do away with that.
Oh
That
yeah,
comes
yeah.
directly from the state legislature.
Right, right.
And
No,
you know,
yeah, and I get that. And I think I just want to say is what can us, I mean, I'm sure with enough pushback, right, the constituents can force something to change. So what can you advise all of us to do in order to maybe do away with a STAR test or do something different that might be more beneficial
sure.
to our kids?
What I like that
Hello.
to the state legislature or call the state legislatures and tell them to please do away with the start testing. And they have done away with it because of the COVID. But
Mhm.
now the governor came out and said that every child has to take the start test this year in person. So there's nothing that we can do about that, but it would be beneficial to all of us, the community surrounding here in San Antonio, to go to the state legislatures, call the state legislatures, tell them you're not happy with your child on the start testing. It's just too much testing for these kids. And we know that as a board, but there's nothing that we can do unless everybody, parents, community activists get together and go to this Austin and get the state legislatures to change that, to do
Mm.
away with that. And that's the only way. That's the only way that we would throw out the governor, the state education, the TEA, the governor, the lieutenant governor, the state legislature mandated that many years ago in order to get the accountability for our kids to make sure as a measuring stick to see how they're doing. But at the same time, it's been a problem because it used to be where the state would fund the schools only if you pass the STAR test, if the kids would pass the STAR test. And that was unfair, very
Yeah.
unfair,
Yeah.
because our district is 92% poverty stricken. And that was very unfair. But, unless the people stand up and go to the state legislatures, the governor, and plead with them to change it, to do away with it. That's the only way that we're going to do that.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, good. I mean, that's good to know. I mean, I think this has been a resounding position from a lot of people, and um,
Sure.
one, trying to figure out what the school board does, right? But two, it also, things like this we need to know, right? Right. So a lot of us don't even know what to do. So, um, yeah, definitely.
That's
So
the
what
only way.
what would you like to see done to take that place then? To what do you think could be done differently that we can enact instead?
You mean for the start testing?
Right. Like what do you think would help? I mean, what are the general consensus between all the teachers and everybody? What are some of the things that maybe can help instead of doing like star testing and making sure that that's the only way they can get funding? What are some things to relieve that and that maybe we can do
Right.
differently?
Well, we do have right now in SAISD, we have what they call beginning of the year, middle of the year, and end of the year testing. Um, when I went to school and when you went to school, you would take a course and take the test. you would take a test of how you learned at that particular course. And that's the way we do that now, also with the START testing. But the START testing, we don't, the teachers don't completely teach the START testing anymore, because we in SAISD, we've instituted, the superintendent and the staff has instituted what the teachers wanted to see was the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, and the end of the year testing. And that will tell the teachers exactly what the students are learning and how they're progressing. And then the teachers get, once they do that at the beginning of the year, middle of the year, and the end of the year, they get with the parents at every increment, beginning, middle, and end, and the parents will know exactly how their students are doing, progressing towards the end of the year, to make sure that they pass at the end of the year. And that's how the remedy is done right now at SAISD, to make sure that the testing does not become 100% of what the kids learned.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's it's something that I think is really important to be able to find out some of these things, that what we can do to change these things, because I mean, that seems to be the common consensus, is everybody doesn't not like the STAR testing, and it's not conducive to these kids. And so I mean, just something that we want to make sure that we're trying to make sure that we let people know what we can do to change this stuff. Are there any things that are fundamentally like any discrepancies that are in the way of the board, the way that the board awards contracts?
No, we have we have a director of contracts, and they're the ones that in SAISD, they're the ones that put all the contracts together. And once they put all the contracts out, they good. See, it's a responsibility of the director of contracts. They have to go out at least 5 or more contracts, bid out. They have to bid out 5 or more contracts to different companies, and then the director of the contracts will look at the bidding and see who would be the best match for SAISD. And that's what we've done for all our bonds. 2016 bond, 2010 bond. 2016 bonds, as you can see, I was able to get $90 million for Burbank. Brand new school, they're state of the art. Oh my God, I toured that a couple of weeks ago. It is if you've seen it, have you seen Burbank, the new school?
Mm-hmm.
It is an amazing. The 2016 bond, we were able to get all high schools brought up to state of the art. You see what happened, not that superintendents were bad before Mr. Martinez came in, but for some reason, SAISD never went for bonds. We fell behind Northeast and Northside schools. Well, you can see the Northside and Northeast schools. They look like college campuses. Meantime, we've got dilapidated schools here. In my district alone, I have 5 schools that are over 100 years old. Allen's Garden, Gravener, Hillcrest, Frisco. And what we were able to do when Mr. Martinez came in as a superintendent, he realized that we needed to bring our schools up to par. So 2016, we went for for 37 schools to be upgraded. Well, all our high schools, and you've seen Burbank, I was able to get $90 million for Burbank. It will be opening up sometime in August for the new school year. So all our high schools are pretty much updated, state of the art, amazing state of the art. This is amazing school the way it's going to be. And then just November the 3rd, we went for a $2.2 billion bond. And all 100 and some odd schools that we have in the district will be part of that $2.2 billion down in technology and the way the schools are going to be rebuilt for 21st century state-of-the-art schools. So the contracts that are being let out, we have a director of contract that we brought in, and they oversee the contracts on there. So they put out the bidding, and they see who's the best match for these schools, and then it comes to the board, and they provide all the information to us, and then we accept the board does the approval of the company that will do the bidding and that will do the construction of the schools. And that's how it works. We don't go out. We cannot go individually out. It comes to the board from the director of contracts.
Gotcha. Now, I mean, here's the question though: is I mean, if we have all of this these buildings and all this state of the art technology, but the teachers are still having to teach to the test, and they're worried about, you know, not getting the funding for it and all that. I mean, what good is all of the technology and everything going to be if the teachers are limited and restricted to what they teach?
Well, right now we've been doing all right. I mean, I don't think there's any problem with the teachers out there. As far as I know, I haven't heard any complaints about any of the teachers from Burbank or any of my schools here of how they're teaching. Yes, they would like to do away with the START test, but that's something that has been mandated by the state, and they have to abide by it. I haven't heard any complaints from any teachers, and I visit my schools as often as I can to make sure that my principals, my staff, and all the teachers have all the necessary tools to make our kids for them to teach. But I have not heard any feedback or any complaints from any teachers of the way that they're teaching the kids and everything. So far, it's been done pretty good as far as we were able to. If the teachers were always complaining and not doing well, we would not have gotten a B accountability from the state of Texas. We went from an F to a D to a C. 2019, 2020, we went to a B, the best accountability that SAISD has ever accrued from the state of Texas. Even the lieutenant governor came down here to SAISD and congratulated all the teachers, everyone in the district, for being the most improving school district in the state of Texas. We were able to get a B accountability. A B never has been done for SAISD. And now we have everything in place by the year 2025, we want to be a school district.
Yeah.
We're up there with North Side Northeast. They were able to get B accountability from the state. We're up there with North Side Northeast. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. We haven't heard any complaints from teachers about the testing and everything, that we were able to accomplish a B accountability for SAISD.
Now, I mean, is there any other entities that have given any type of praise to SAISD rather than the government? Because I mean, let's be honest, the government usually tends to mess up some of these things anyway, right? So I don't really have too high faith in the government itself, in the Texas government, as far as with giving some accolades, especially from especially like the lieutenant governor and things like that. So are there any other organizations that have given some accolades to SAISD as far as
sure
that aren't government?
We have Mr. Martinez holds a state of the district every 6 months. We hold a state of the district. When he came in, he made it a point to go to the business community to get partnerships from the business community. Never have we had, and I've been part of this district all my life, never have we had any support from the business community because we were failing schools. Now that we got to be accountability, Mr. Martinez holds a state of the district every 6 months at what's the name of that? Oh gosh, the one on Broadway. I got a blank. The Pearl. Over 400 business communities, from the mayor all the way down to business communities. HEB, Valero, they come. We have over 400 business communities that attend that district of the state of the district, and they give us accolades all the time. We get the support from them. HEB has given us money, lots of money, lots of grants. Valero has given us a lot of grants. They see how important SAISD is to the community of San Antonio. Because we're an inner city school, I've always said that if my kids in my community here in the district do not succeed, San Antonio, the city, and the state don't succeed. We have to make sure that our kids are educated, and because of that, the business community, all the business community, have given us money to we have built a brand new CAS Med school, P-Tech schools for trade schools. HEB, Valero has given us a lot of money. Other business area companies have given us a lot of money to institute these schools for our kids. That's how we get our accolades.
So I mean, but from my experience, especially with campaigning like last year and speaking to many candidates, especially for like city council and things like that, why are some of the issues that are top on the list education? If we do have strong accolades and things like that, why are so many people complaining about the education system, especially on the South Side?
Well, because I have no idea. I mean, I have two grandkids. They're doing real good. My granddaughter just got a full ride to Our Lady of the Lake University, and she's doing real good. My grandson is at Harris Middle School. He's doing real good. I've got three kids that graduated from Burbank High School. They all went to college. I got them through college. They're very successful. I have, I couldn't speak for other families or other people. I mean, I know what my family has done. I know what other families have, their kids have done. I know a lot of the families here in the area here, their kids are succeeding. They're doing very well in education here. Just because they come to Southside schools, it doesn't mean that that these are bad schools. That's one of the main misconceptions of the Southside schools, of SAISD schools, that they've always failing schools, and they're not. They're not failing schools. I don't understand that. Why the misconception? If you look at these magazines that you see in the city, you have no mention of the Southside schools. It's all North Side, Northeast. That's always been a misconception. But yet we're getting kids to go to Harvard, Princeton, Yale. They don't tell you that. Mm-hmm. I picked up a magazine a couple of years ago, and the people that are moving here to San Antonio, North Side, Northeast, go to these great schools. Now, one section is about San Antonio, SAISD, but yet a lot of people are moving inside the inner cities here because of all the apartments are being built. And that's why the city has a responsibility, and the mayor has told us that it is important to make sure that our kids here in this inner city get educated. And that's why they're trying to get our SID schools in the inner city, the South Side, to be educated.
Okay, gotcha. We have somebody. Okay, so we're gonna have somebody come in. So hello.
Sorry, I had to unmute myself because you didn't unmute me, Eric.
Yeah.
How you doing, Eric?
Good.
Thanks, man. You know, I super respect you. I love what you're doing. You're amazing. And Art, sir, thank you very much for your service. I appreciate what you've done through students and everything. But unfortunately, there's no way in hell I could back you to watch my children in school. So no matter what happens, I respect what you've done, but going forward, I just would not have any respect that I would trust my children around you. So, I mean, if you can alleviate that, I will totally back you completely and work to get you elected. But unfortunately,
let me ask you this: why do you feel uncomfortable? I don't understand.
Because I don't like the idea of my children ever being sexually assaulted by somebody like a teacher, and that you don't seem to have a problem with that because you're saying that there's no way in hell your son did it.
I didn't say that. When did I say that?
No, that's the point. You actually haven't said it, which is why I'm worried about it, because you're not saying that it is possible that my son could have done it. And that's what bothers me, because, it is a possibility because 3 different sources said he did. And you're denying it, but also not addressing it. So that bothers me because I love my children and I don't want anything to happen to them or anybody else that's in a school. So again, I'm not going to back you.
So can you maybe, I don't know, I guess say something about that specifically, Art?
No, I'm
Nope.
not.
Okay, so an issue that actually affects real students is something that you're uncomfortable dealing with, and that's why I'm not going to support you or get you elected. I'm going to get anybody else elected in your place because, yeah, again, I think children not getting raped is a little bit more important than you talking about STAR testing. So, yep, that's how it's going to be, man. Sorry, but good luck to you and follow your dreams because that's what I'm doing.
All right. Okay. Well, not much to say. I mean, do you have anything to say as far as like, with anything like that? I mean, any response? Okay. All right. Um, okay. So, let's see here. What was the other thing? Um, is there anything that teachers can teach outside of the TEKS system?
I would like to. I think this has gone long enough. It's 45 minutes already long.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you for joining, and thank you everybody for watching, and have a great day.
Thank you.